The New York Times just released their top 100 restaurants in New York City for 2024 from restaurant critic Pete Wells. Being the insane person that I am, decided I'm going to tackle this entire list. I also just think this is a great way to show all of the different meals and cuisines and food New York City has to offer. Let's go to Mom, a mom and pop Vietnamese shop in Chinatown, and they are ranked 20th on Mr. Wells' list. You have to start with the dami, which is a tamarind drink with peanuts. And if they have it on the menu, the fried eggplant. They are constantly changing their menu, so you never know what you're going to get. And please do not skip the grilled prawns with this green, creamy chili sauce. I love trying foods that I've never had before, including this soft-boiled egg and scallop dish. The star of the show, though, is this chicken hot pot with the best chicken broth ever, lemongrass chicken, vegetables, rice noodles, and this dipping salt. I'm not lying when I say I've been dreaming about this soup since I had it. Nothing was lacking in flavor. Nothing. I also got to sit in the best seat in the house, the traditional style where I took my shoes off, I sat crisscross. Mom is more than deserving to be on this list, and I can't wait to go back to try their spring and summer menu. I'm eating at all 100 restaurants on the New York Times Top 100 list, and today we're going to spot 19 John George. This is one of the more expensive restaurants on the list, coming in at $300 for 6 courses and $400 for 10, and the drink list comes on an iPad. You out with butter and fresh bread, 3 different types of bread. The sourdough is my favorite. It was delish. Then 3 snacks are dropped on your table. I loved all 3. Sea trout sushi, sea urchin toast, and a Vidalia onion veloute. Star of the show here is this egg toast, cured egg yolks, and a dollop of caviar on top. Very lavish bite. On the a la carte menu, it's $80. Next, we have yellowfin tuna crusted in soba. Absolutely delicious. And I loved the Japanese influence here. This is Norwegian king crab, sitting on a bed of nishiki rice with vermouth and dill. I thought that was gonna be one of my favorite dishes, but the halibut I liked more. Super flaky, very herby. The Wagyu strip loin, though, was one of my favorite steaks I've had ever, and it was cooked literally perfect. For dessert, this is the passion fruit flower, literally one of the most beautiful desserts I've ever seen, and I love passion fruit. It was excellent. Another stunning dessert with rhubarb. I did prefer passion fruit, though, more. Just when you think it's over, they roll over this confectionery cart. You can pick whatever your heart desires from it. This was Andrew ordering basically one of everything. The candies and chocolates are handmade. They were excellent. This was honestly one of my favorite tasting menus I've done in New York City. Extremely expensive, yes, but I literally loved everything I had. The service was excellent. The location's terrible. This spot is one of the cheapest options on the list, but dare I say, probably one of the best. We're going to Trinciti Roti Shop in Queens. This place is hectic, jam-packed, takeout only. They don't even have a bench. And there are maybe 30 people working behind the counter. They are serving up fire Trinidadian cuisine. And on the weekends, they have their bacon shark sandwich special. I got my goodies to go, and then I ate it on the side of the street in the neighborhood. The sandwich special is $20, and probably one of the best sandwiches I'll ever have. Basically, it's fried shark in between a fried flatbread, topped with coleslaw, pineapple, tamarind sauce, the whole 9. It was my first time trying shark, and every single flavor on the sandwich worked beautifully together. Since that's a special, I had to get their classic, so I got a few doubles. The first one I tried was the curry chicken. It was $3. If you're unsure what doubles are, as was I, it's from my understanding 2 pieces of barra bread, some curry chickpeas, and then a meat. Also lots of spicy chutneys too. The second one I tried was the oxtail, which was delicious, and then I also got an aloo pie for a whopping $2, a Lewis potato, and then the last one I got was the curry goat for $4, and probably my favorite. Mr. Wells has this ranked 18th on the list. It's new this year, and I'd be shocked if it doesn't make my top 10. Today, we're going to one of my favorite restaurants in New York City. The Four Horsemen is a tiny wine bar with small plates, and the menu rotates often. I'm not kidding. If you love wine, look at how much wine they have. If you had to ask me what my favorite date night spot would be, it is this 100%. The space is intimate, the wine is amazing, and the food, oh my god. I love that it's constantly changing. This snappy salad was incredible. This crudo, they have the best crudo. They're only making what they can get fresh, and I swear it's all so good. Their house-made bread is also fantastic, so this is a must order. The tuna toast I've had, don't get me started. This is a sesame yellowfin tuna. I will say the menu skews very heavily towards seafood, but it's not all seafood. Like right here, we have a chickpea crave. Whenever I come here, I tend to order almost the entire menu because it's not big and everything sounds delicious. I think my favorite dish I've had thus far, though, is the Hokkaido spear squid, which came with a side of pepperoncinis. They use a lot of seasonal ingredients, too. For example, this is sun golds and clams. And do not sleep on the desserts. This caramel flan was insane, and so is the chocolate cake. They're 17th on the list, jumped up 19 spots from last year, and I'd honestly put them higher. And today we're going to spot 16, Jeju Noodle Bar, for some Korean fusion. Jeju's broken up into 2 sections, appetizers and mains, except I don't want you to look at it that way. I'll get to the why, but for the appetizer section, we got the amberjack. This was so delicious. I was actually not expecting it to be as good as it was. Their signature dish, and something I don't think you can skip, is the toro sambap. It's $55. It's filled with toro, caviar, jalapeno, rice, eggs. In my opinion, it's the best thing on the menu. Okay, the gochujang bokum is like a Korean sloppy joe over rice, and it's only $13. It's delicious. You get so much food. I thought it was going to be this little tiny thing for the price. The ribs, I personally think, are a skip, unfortunately. And then another one of their dishes I do kind of love is their fried chicken with caviar and yogurt dip. Sure, it's a little ridiculous, but it tastes good. Okay, for clarity, those were all apps, and those apps are not small. You shouldn't be viewing that side of the menu as a starter, but rather the main course. Okay, now for the main course is technically, here's the lobster noodles. It low-key tasted like caramel popcorn to me. I could not get into it. Okay, now onto the ramyun, which is the Korean ramen. This is the Wagyu version. It comes raw. You cook it in the broth. This is the family version with shrimp and pork. I like these. I don't love them. Personally, I think the left side of the menu is so superior to the right. I'm here for the quote apps. For dessert, we got the chocolate truffle ice cream. Personally, I think 16 is high on the list, but I do think half the menu is amazing, and they have great service. And today we're going to spot 15 for some Chinese food, CheLi. It's very lovely inside. Our waitress was wonderful, and it is Michelin Guide. I don't know this for certain, but I'm pretty sure it's sisters with Szechuan Mountain House, which is directly next door. And they are also on the list. There's a lot of sister restaurants on this list, so it wouldn't surprise me. They also both have locations in the East Village and Flushing. You're here for the food, so let's chat about that. Andrew wanted these crab and pork soup dumplings. I didn't even want them. I think most soup dumplings are pretty overrated. I thought these were delicious. Next, we have the braised pork belly. It was so good. Buyer beware, very fatty, but that's pork belly. This is the salted yolk fried pumpkin. The salted yolk makes it grainy, which might not be a fun texture for some. Big fan of the pumpkin, though. This is the hot stone braised rice, and while I did like this, it was very similar to the pork belly in flavor, so I don't think I needed both, but that's my fault. The pickled cabbage fish stew is one of the best soups I've ever had. The amount of different flavors going on in this stew, it's a nice balance between pickled and spice. Fish is super delicate. It's perfect for a cold night. I loved CheLi. I was expecting to go in and be like, oh, this is good, but that soup blew me away. Not to be emo, but this will probably be my last post, which is depressing, but I'll be finishing the list on IG and YouTube, and I hope to see you guys there. There's only 2 vegetarian restaurants on the entire list, and this is one of them, jumping up 35 spots from last year, landing them in 14th place. Let's go to ABCV. I would like to preface this video, I do not like the sister restaurant ABC Kitchen, so I had low expectations. Started with the green chickpea hummus and crudité. The crudité comes from the Union Square Farmers Market, which I love. It wasn't the best hummus ever, but it was good, and they also give you handmade pita. The avocado lettuce cups were one of my favorite dishes of the night, filled with sweet potatoes and avocados. It was spicy, it was creamy, it was good. I was also a big fan of the dosa. This one shocked me. 3 chutneys loaded with flavor. Also, want to preface, every dish here is between $20 and $35, so don't think you're getting a steal with the veggies. I loved the whole cauliflower. The turmeric tahini was perfect. The mushroom wontons fell a little flat for me. It just wasn't a super flavorful dish. The grilled shiitakes, though, were fire. But like, this plate looks like it was foraged in the woods, and it was $30. Not gonna lie, though, one of my favorite dishes. The chocolate cherry cake was fine. The BB scoop of ice cream was $6. Is it expensive? Yes. Is it delicious? Yes. The food was creative, and not once was I like, I really wish I had a plate of chicken right now. I would put ABCV on my top 100. And today we're going to spot 13, which also happens to be new to the list. Let's dine at Siamo. Located in Manhattan West, it's quite a large restaurant, and they have a huge outdoor seating area. They don't have free bread here, but this is probably one of the first spots I'd say I'd pay for it. I don't know if I want to pay $16 for the cast iron focaccia, but it's quite delicious, and the tomato conserva that it comes with is also great. It's a quality bread. I'll leave it at that. The ensalada verde is light. It's refreshing. It's a nice balance in comparison to the caramelized onion torta, which is a must get. It was the best thing we had. It's like if French onion soup was Italian onion soup, and it wasn't soup, it was a torta. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, for pastas, I'd say the rigatoni alla Grecia is their most popular pasta. It was buttery and rich, definitely my favorite of the 3 we had. The tagliatelle with buffalo butter and tomato was good. I'm not running back for it. The cavatelli with chili and crab was right in the middle for me. I wish there was a little more crab. For dessert, we got the bomboloni covered in cinnamon sugar, and it came with the richest dark chocolate dip ever. And then they drop off rainbow cookies, which I can confidently say these are the best rainbow cookies I've ever had. Overall, I thought it was good. There's a lot of good Italian in New York City. Spot 13's a little high, I'll be honest. He must have been a really big fan. For today, we're going to Una Pizza. Ranked number 2 in the world in 2023 and number 12 on Mr. Well's list. Started with the roasted peppers, which are a must order. The only other apps are olives and burrata, and the burrata's skippable. They do have a nice wine list, though. But let's talk the pizza, the star of the show. They use this ginormous oven. It's 1 pizza per person. They offer 5 standard pizzas on the menu and a weekly special. This was the weekly special. It had artichokes and parm. It was good, but the margarita is what to order. And we added long hots. The dough is absolutely incredible, but just be mindful this is not a New York slice. The gelato is fantastic. Is Una worth your while? I would say everyone should try it at least once. And today we're going to spot 11. Being that Pete ranked this 11th out of 100 restaurants, I had high hopes for Estela. Let's get into it. Started with the sourdough and salted butter, and you guessed it, I had to pay for it. Although it was only $5, so it didn't hurt that bad, and the bread was great. It's hard for me to turn up some fresh sourdough. These were the scallops. Estela does an amazing job with presentation. I love scallops. I love the sauce they came in. They were delicious. It was $34 though for 4 scallops. That's a little steep to me. This is the ricotta dumplings. This is one of their more popular dishes. They were sitting in this broth. They were great. I would order it again. Okay, this endive salad literally reminded me of the P.F. Chang's lettuce wrap, but the American version with walnuts and anchovies. This is the type of inventiveness I want from my salad. It had like an orange bitterness to it. It was great. The squid ink rice was hands down my favorite thing I ate. It was $35. Happily would pay for that again. But the steak, sorry, correction, the 2 slices of steak was $52. I wish I got to eat more than 1 slice because it was so good. For dessert, we got the panna cotta with honey and vinegar. The vinegar was super unique. I want to preface, I did not have a bad bite here, and I spent an exorbitant amount on food. So I feel like I have the grounds to say that some of these dishes are steep in comparison to a place like Four Horsemen. And side note, I felt a little cramped in there. I think it would make my top 100, but I'm not sure. And today we are going to a spot that holds my favorite pasta dish in all of New York City and is also 10th on the list. For starters, Torrisi gives you free bread, which at this point is a rarity in New York City, and this bread is so good. The best app that I've had on this menu is the Italian and American hams with zeppoli, and there's also a sweet fruity jam too. It's salty, it's sweet. I could pop these all day. Sometimes they have a Val special, which is good. The octopus I would stay away from. It was so overcooked. The tortellini pomodoro changed my life. This is the Lamborghini, the Bugatti, the Ferrari of tortellini dishes. I'm telling you, I savor every bite every time I have this dish. I use the bread to sop up the sauce. The cavatelli with Jamaican beef ragu was excellent. The linguine and a pink Manhattan clam sauce is fine, but the other pastas outshine it. This chicken is so seasoned, so juicy. The mushroom sauce is excellent too. Okay, if you go for lunch, they have a lunch sandwich. This is their house porchetta, but they said they change it monthly. It comes on that same free bread, which is great. It's fatty and it's rich, but the broccoli rabe cuts through it. It's insane. Okay, if you don't order dessert, they still give you dessert. The little sorbets and cookies are great, but if you do want dessert, that's great too. This is the hazelnut Napoleon, and then this is the grapefruit frozen yogurt. Trinciti is one of my favorite restaurants in New York City, so no questioning this one. Today we're going to the #1 most expensive restaurant on the list. This is spot 9, Yoshino. I'm booking a reservation for 2 people. I paid $1,300. This cost includes gratuity and tax. Here is the menu, starting with the appetizers. This was like a parfait of sushi, sea urchin, hairy crab, and caviar. It was delicious. The second dish was this broth with puffed rice and baby eels. Lots of different textures going on here. I was a fan. Probably the best monkfish liver I've ever had. It's delicate. It was fresh. Always a fan of crispy eel. This one wasn't like mind-blowing. Solid eel. Mochi stuffed with mullet fish roe was super underwhelming. Best describe it as dry, burnt, and extra salty. But totally could have just been my palate and preference. Was a fan of this super rich and hearty fish broth. Also had the biggest oyster I've ever seen in my life in it. And the last app was salmon. Sat in a white sauce similar to ginger dressing, and it was wrapped around cherry tomatoes. I don't know. I love sushi for it in its raw form. It's not my favorite when it's covered up. The flavors were fun though. All right, now comes the fish. We have the mackerel first. Nice meaty texture, seasoned well. Next up is gizzard shad, which I thought was fine. There wasn't much going on with it. We had filefish. It had a squid-like texture. I was into it. Speaking of squid, we have some squid. Served warm. I don't know if that was intentional. Spanish mackerel was a favorite. Mustard seeds underneath the fish, which I thought was so fun and tasty. Look at this platter. I could stare at this all day. The highlight of the night for me was the tuna. We had the lean tuna first, then the medium fatty tuna, and then the otoro. Another highlight of the night for me was the ending hand roll with sea urchin and tuna. Didn't even want to eat it. It looked so perfect. At this point, the meal was wrapping down. We had some miso soup, some tamago, and gelato with the strawberry puree over it. One of the best desserts ever. I did enjoy my meal here. I did, but for similar price points and experience, Xi'an 69, which is also on the list, wins for me all the way. And today we're going to the 8th spot on the list, a vegetarian diner. Superiority Burger serves brunch, lunch, dinner, and some of the best desserts in all of New York City. For drinks, you should try their homemade soda. This was a passion fruit orange. They also have the best seltzer in New York City, which is literally called that on the menu. It really is fire though. All right, let's start with brunch. These are the hash browns with Cooper sharp cheese and jalapenos. Excellent, a must order. I think another must order if you come here for brunch is the waffle with guava butter. Give me all the carbs. Their main breakfast item is the tray, which has many components to it, like a tofu scramble, grits, cabbage, fresh fruit, and it comes with this focaccia dough cinnamon roll. Best cinnamon roll I've ever had in my entire life. Beyond that, the tray's good. I don't know that I'd order it again. All right, for dinner, the collard green sandwich is excellent. Cheesy collard greens on focaccia bread. It's great. The sloppy Dave was a miss for me, and then you have their burger, which is a decent veggie burger, I will say. The burnt broccoli salad's interesting. The white sweet potato's good. But don't you dare come here and not get dessert. I've had a lot of desserts here. This butter pecan and peach gelato, incredible. The griddled malt cake with rhubarb and labneh gelato, incredible. Can't go wrong with the peanut butter pie either. But the best thing on the entire menu and one of my favorite desserts in all of New York City is their date shake. I'd even recommend to come here just for this. They make my top 100. And today we're going to spot 7, which is Semma for some Indian food. I'll say 2 things off the bat. Their sister restaurant, Dhamaka, which is also on this list, is my favorite Indian restaurant in New York City. And the first time I went to Semma, I was not obsessed. But due to it being on the list, I went back and got the most up-to-date rating. So let's get into it. The gunpowder dosa, you have to get. It's incredible. Great way to start the meal. I really enjoyed the sprouted mung beans, a really light, fresh app. I'm not a fan of the beet appetizer. I didn't like the flavor. The beef short rib is an outstanding dish. My favorite thing I've had at Semma. Seasoned to perfection with black cardamom. And if we're in between the tiger prawn and the scallops, I'm going tiger prawn. Both have great flavor. I think you just get a little more with the prawn for a very similar price point. For me, I'm not the biggest fan of the oxtail. It's too sweet. And the goat biryani is just not a first choice for me. Biryani at Dhamaka is a different story. I absolutely loved the lobster tail though. It was perfectly cooked. Doused in the most delicious mustardy, turmericy, coconut milk curry. Could have just taken a spoon to this. And then another main that I love is the ghee roasted lamb chops. One thing Unapologetic Food Group does well is sauces. And to finish, I liked this passion fruit dessert. Dhamaka does still reign supreme in my eyes, but Semma should not be missed. The ambiance is better here too. And today we're going to spot number 6, Lechonera La Piraña in the Bronx. This spot is a weekend-only food truck, and it is not available in the winter months, and you are going to wait for it. Here's the owner bringing out the second or third helping of pig that he's roasted. Keep the Gatorade bottle. It's a little rustic here. Here's a closer shot of it, and then he takes a literal machete and chops it all up. There's a few sides you can get, but you're coming here for this pork. Here's the milky garlic sauce he pours on top, and he was giving out samples, so here's ours. Not me struggling to eat it. Okay, here's the platter. It's beautiful. Depending on how many additions you add on, it could cost between $20 and $30, cash only. The pork and the rice is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how he's roasting it, but with love. The shrimp was overcooked. I wish I got the pulpo salad. And I mean, the crispy skin is just the best part. I personally think the 6th spot is a little high for me, but it'll probably make my overall list. Today we're going to the number 5 spot, and probably one of the most well-known. Let's eat at Via Carota. You're actually going to start your meal across the street at Bar Pistolina, which is their bar. Start with a Negroni while you wait for your table. Via Carota's menu is large. There's a lot going on. The Frito Misto is good. The arancini is better. But the best app on there is the bruschetta. A mound of salted butter on fresh grilled bread with anchovies and capers. I think this might be a hot take, but Via Carota does vegetables best. I actually don't feel bad saying that because there's 16 vegetable options on the menu and 4 pastas. The ensalada verde salad is good, but the pea salad with prosciutto is better. The broccoli rabe is bitter and garlicky, and I do love the artichokes with aioli. They're even out here whipping up some sauteed ramps. Look, I know people think of pasta when they come into an Italian restaurant, but vegetables are the star here. The cacio e pepe is good. The meatballs are fun too. They have raisins and pine nuts in them. I will say my favorite pasta on the menu though is the pappardelle with wild boar ragu. If you're feeling adventurous, get the fried rabbit. Tastes like a sweeter, meatier chicken. Via Carota is great. I don't know if I would put it in spot 5, but it would make my top 100. And don't forget to get some tiramisu. And since we are officially halfway through, I'm going to a spot that's on every best restaurant list ever, including the world. Atomix is 4th on the list and 6th on earth. The vibes are most definitely in the menu here. The staff is very nice though. They start you with snacks. So the sardine was first, which was delicious. And then the sea urchin on a sweet corn cake. Those are just the teaser because then they come around and ask you if you want to add the truffle. I would, but I'm not a millionaire. And then you get to select your own chopsticks, which I think is such a fun touch. This was my selection. The food is brought out at once. And you get a very detailed card and story explaining each dish. The bluefin tuna and caviar are excellent. The little cards even have the names of the artists who made the ceramics. The scallop with maple flour was my favorite, but scallop's always my favorite. Loved the langoustine too. This was a silky chicken, abalone, octopus, and tendon. I didn't even know what I was eating, but every single thing was so good. The rockfish was so delicate, it literally melted in my mouth. Most tasting menus tend to be very seafood forward. For example, the tile fish, which also came with eel. But I do enjoy when they throw a meat in there every now and then, and they threw in a Wagyu short rib with some rice, and this was the last savory dish. For dessert, we had this shaved Korean pear and sweet potato ice cream. The dessert was excellent. Atomix is truly an experience. It's $395 a person. For me, this was a bucket list spot. Yes, I left full, and yes, it would make my list. And today we're going to a 3 Michelin star establishment. It's very well known in New York City. Le Bernardin ranks 3rd on the list, and the inside gives upscale conference room. I will say the service is a little colder here than other fine dining establishments I've been to. It's not me saying the service was bad. It wasn't. For a more warmer, casual environment. There's a couple ways to dine here. You can do the prefix, the chef's tasting, lunch, dinner. We did the prefix. It's a lot of overlap to the chef's tasting menu. Boosh is fine. It's not super memorable. The bread, though, I literally had like 5 rounds of this bread. Just keep coming around and passing it out, and it is excellent. First course is almost raw, so I picked the tuna urchin tartare with sea urchin toast on top and a beef jus. I loved it. Excellent. The seafood was so fresh. Andrew got the scallops, another hit with these baby toasts. For the second course, we did the squid ink tagliatelle. Thought it was good. There was a lot going on to it. Montauk shrimp is great. The sauces that they have here are so decadent and rich. For our main course, I got the lobster. Best lobster I've ever had. I don't think I'll have a better cooked lobster in my life. The portion is large. I know there's someone out there who would say I would leave hungry, but even with Andrew's black bass, decently sized portion in my opinion. Black bass was good, but did not compare to my lobster. And it was dessert time. I think we were in a chocolate mood. We got the Peruvian dark chocolate, the hazelnut. The Peruvian dark chocolate was my favorite. Super balanced between sweet and bitter. A treat tray at the end. Personally, I had a lovely meal here. I love the food. Spot 3 for me is a little high, but if you're looking to get into fine dining, such an approachable menu. It was $2.15 a head. For 3 stars, its price and its reputation. I think it's worth trying at least once. Today we're going to spot number 2, which a handful of people told me they hated. Always a good feeling going into a $275 a person dinner. However, there's a lot of people that love this restaurant too. So let's talk about Blanca. When dining at Blanca, you'll first find yourself at the pizza shop Roberta's in Bushwick. After checking in, someone will come and take you through the backyard, and you'll arrive at the restaurant. It's really just one big open space. All of the bar seats look into the kitchen, which I love. I'd rather watch them cook than sit in a fancy dining room. The tuna consomme is a nice start. Bring you out some mushrooms with persimmon. Odd combo, but I like. Potentially my favorite thing of the night was the Swiss chard and white chocolate. What a weird and incredibly delicious combo. Most of the tasting menu is seafood forward, so this was a ceviche. I didn't repeat because prior to this list, I'd never had monkfish liver. I've now had it multiple times. The menu definitely pushes some boundaries in the creative department. For example, this is an oyster with calamansi sauce and a sugared disc. Was it my favorite way to eat an oyster? No, but I was into it. Truthfully, a lot of tasting menus on this list are very similar, so I liked the change of pace of Blanca. Here's our black skipjack cooking, and here's the black skipjack in question. This meal also is 4 hours long. Normally it's 3, but they took their time because there wasn't a seating after, and I will say the staff was fantastic. Plantain white sesame sweet potato dish, also a favorite. All right, next up is the bread course. They bring out a big hunk of butter. It's a traditional Chilean bread cooked over hot sand and ash. Should have eaten a whole loaf. Signature thing seems to be the crab empanada. I thought it was dry, and the kelp cochayuyo was not making it less dry. The final savory dish was a rare pork served with wild grains, and I thought it was the perfect final dish. Then comes dessert. Round 1 is guava sorbet. Perfectly balanced, sweet, creamy, acidic. Then white chocolate ice cream with parsnip and caviar, and a full cheese course. It's fun, it's different, and while it's not my favorite fine dining restaurant from the list, I did overall enjoy. I've eaten at all 100 restaurants on the New York Times Top 100 list, and we finally made it to spot number 1. Let's go dine at Tatiana. The cuisine is upscale Afro-Caribbean with New York City inspiration sprinkled throughout. So think Chinese takeout, Italian bakeries, corner stores. The restaurant itself is very vibey and cool. I've had the privilege of dining at Tatiana a few times now, so let's go through the menu. Starting with the curried goat patties, one of my favorite bites in all of New York City. I literally savor every bite of these. It comes with a mango chutney and green aioli, which we have to ask for refills on because we go through it so fast. Crispy okra is also nice. It's sweet, it's tangy. I do like the agusi dumplings. I don't like them as much as the curried goat patties. Big fan of the oxtail and crab rangoons. Super crispy and packed with flavor. Let's talk mains. Here's the shawarma roast chicken. Although the chicken dish does seem to rotate on the menu, so I don't know if they always have this. Turmeric lamb rice, white sauce, and hot sauce. Again, is super seasoned, super tender. It was not dry. I would order this again and again. The lamb rice is equally as delicious. I love every component to this dish. All right, then we have the braised oxtails. For me, it's just too sweet. That's called personal preference, baby. Mom Duke shrimp in a Creole butter is heavenly. The shrimp is head on, perfectly cooked. It comes with some brioche toast to sop up all of that amazing sauce. Hands down, the short rib pastrami suya is the star. It comes with some red cabbage and cocoa bread. It used to be like $70. Now it's like $120. And then for dessert, of course, you have to get the bodega special. House-made cosmic brownie with powdered donut ice cream. One of my favorite desserts in New York City. You think Pete's crazy for some of his rankings, but not this one. I don't know any other restaurant like this. It's one of my favorites ever. And that's all she wrote. Thank you guys so much for following along. Who knows if and when 2025 list will drop. Love you guys.